What can you say about that vocal?
Oh,
It's it really illustrates his amazing range. These three songs, actually, but this one, this sort of crooning, longing, rhapsodic instrumentation. It's quite extraordinary as a contrast to the first two.
yeah. And the first time I actually heard this song, it was a recording of Hoagie Carmichael.
Uh-huh.
And and the difference between the two is very large, but they both, you've got the songwriter doing it, and then you've got, Ray, and this really showed to me how a person, a singer, can take a song, make it completely their own without having to futz with the melody, where all of a sudden it becomes gymnastics,
Yes, yes.
vocal gymnastics. He stayed true to the melody, yet was still able to create a complete version that was distinctly his own and became a classic. And that was something, when I could listen to the two, um, and and see how that was done, it really brought home to me how the respect that Ray had for the song itself. And so many singers don't. They're so involved in trying to make it their own in such a way that they bastardize the melody
I
and
agree.
do all sorts of things. There's nothing wrong with some embellishments here and there and such, but man, show the respect for the songwriter.
Uh, uh,
So, Gail or Kat, do you know the history of the orchestration? Was that Ray Charles' work, the choir and the orchestra, in terms of the structuring of it?
it doesn't sound like uh it sounds pretty standard to me.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Mm,
It's a good studio recording.
hmm
You could have a completely different singer over that track. So this, I don't think this was his arrangement.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Just
Was it
I
did
know
Hoagie?
you hear his keyboard doing fills that are distinctly his. What I hear there that really, uh, and I just heard it even more this time. It's the same thing you get with Frank Sinatra in his own way. Uh, a really good singer phrases, and instead of Georgia on my mind is Georgia on my mind, just like Aretha. That they would take it and they tell the story, they phrase it as if they're just spontaneously talking to you, not just reading notes from sheet music. It's completely
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I the orchestration did actually harken back a little to Hoagie Carmichael
right.
kind of feel. Um, you know, but and it was, like you said, a little bit more standard studio guys. And because, I mean, the original orchestration, um, Carmichael did the arrangements for his orchestra. And I mean, uh, what he wanted was Big Spider Becky, Jack Tiergarten, and all of those guys that were and Jimmy Dorsey even was on that. But when um, it on the sheet music I had for it, that was more of the arrangement of Ray Charles. It said it was arranged by Ralph Burns.
I would, I know that he may have contributed to the arrangement, but I think Ray, but it doesn't sound like something like he would have done. And so I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So, and it's just, I mean, they end up making it a state song. What, in the late '70s or something like that?
Yeah, right. 1979. And it's still, and it's another one I perform. It always goes over. There's never a time.
With my three-girl group and I were in Indonesia, and we were in Yogyakarta. We were fooling around with the at a rehearsal with the band, and the three of us just starting singing Jogja, Jogja. I got Jogja on my mind.
So, Gail, how did you end up in Yogyakarta? It's a quite a traditional and conservative place.
Well,
That must have been quite interesting.
yes, it was. Our agent had gotten us the gig, and we started out in Jakarta at the Hotel Ambarukmo, and then we ended up at the Indonesia and the Hotel Ambarukmo in Yogyakarta that was owned by the Sultan. And so we actually did a New Year's Eve show for the Sultan. And